All right. Hey, what's up, guys? Hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. All right. So before we begin, I want you guys to remember why I'm doing this stream again about this specific ticker. And if you guys don't know what ticker is, well, just take a look at the thumbnail of this live stream. You guys can just click on the description box down below, or just go on my channel, go back on my channel, and then take a look at the live video that we are on right now, and take a look at the thumbnail. But we're looking at ticker symbol SOUN, and there's a reason that we're looking at this again. But I want to remind you guys that I did multiple videos on this ticker, well, 2 years ago. Okay, so I have the videos linked down below in the description box. There are 2 links because I did 2 videos back in, I think the first one was back in October 13th, 2024. So it's been quite a while since we revisited this ticker, but overall, I think it's a good time to get back into what this company has been doing. So we will be going back to see kind of the fundamentals and go over it again, and also just go over the technicals as well, because the technicals is what had first attracted me over the weekend, and that's the reason why I've added it to my I have added it to my MM list, or the Momentum Mentions list, that is a part of my overall CFO Swinger Watch Report. And if anyone out there is watching this and is not a reader of the CFO Swinger Watch Report, and you guys want to learn more, well, all you guys need to do is, again, take a look down below at the description box and click on that. My apologies, guys. On the 3rd link in the description box. Okay. Excuse me, I guess it's the 4th link, right? So just count the links that are in the description box, and you guys will be seeing that link as the 4th link to get more information on the CFO Swinger Watch Report. All right, I think people are slowly joining in now. Hey, what's up, guys? Make sure you guys hit that like button as you guys are coming in. It always helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Okay, I see you guys' reactions there. Awesome. Okay, so first, before we begin talking about SOUN, or SoundHound AI, we're going to talk about the overall markets. Okay, so today was pretty interesting as we saw the markets kind of coming back into that mindset that this current Iran conflict is still very much going on, and the fact that the markets today basically told itself that, hey, maybe we need to start paying attention again to the conflict in Iran, and if missiles start flying again, because if you guys haven't heard, I believe it was the UAE air defense systems that was ringing alarms, as it seemed like 4 missiles were shot from Iran towards the UAE, specifically targeting, I believe it was oil refineries, or at least just energy stations overall. But whether those energy stations consist of crude oil or natural gas or whatever it was, right? I don't know if that's confirmed or not, but I think I did see a video where there was a power station on fire. But either way, right, the fact is that Iran shot 4 missiles towards the UAE, and so the United States may be going right back into the conflict of exchanging missiles and shooting at each other. So we'll have to see about that, and I believe that this is most likely just a reason for the US to say, hey, this is a justifiable reason to have boots on the ground in Iran, which is, again, it's going to be devastating, as we've known from all the other Middle East conflicts and wars that we've seen in the past, 3 decades, 4 decades, 3 decades or so. Okay, so, or at least longer than that, actually. I think today was definitely a reminder for the markets to say, hey, wake up, right? It's time to start looking at the conflict again as crude oil prices continue to surge up higher, and for the fact that for the first time today, we've actually saw some pretty solid market vol bids, right? So the volatility index of the S&P 500 saw some consistent bids. So this is kind of concerning here. Okay, so overall, I would say that yes, the VIX did go up today, and the markets did have a nice little move lower intraday, as you guys just seen now a couple minutes ago here, or a couple seconds ago. But overall, for me, individual tickers are still showing relative strength, still showing momentum, right? And breakout trades are still working. So as long as that's still the case, all right, I will still be looking for longs in the market. Yes, today was a little bit shaky because the fact that the markets became sensitive toward the conflict in Iran. But again, right, we are still very much in an uptrend. There's no doubt about that. Okay. Yes, we had a little tiny move down, but just take a look at the daily time frame. Right. It seems like we're just trying to build a higher high and higher low, almost like a flag here. Right, and we're doing this as we're allowing to see the daily 21 SMA slowly catching up, and this is the pattern that I drew a long time ago, and it seems like we're following that. Oh well, okay. I don't know why TradingView someone decided to change this, and extend it. But either way, I drew that, and so hopefully it seems like. Well, hopefully we follow that price path that I've drawn there. But if it doesn't, well, we're most likely going to shoot straight back down because of the fact that if we start to get more news coming out of the Middle East and the fact that the markets realize the implications of higher crude oil prices on the overall economy, well, I'm pretty sure the bears will come out of their caves. Okay, but so far, again, from a technical perspective, guys, there's nothing to really worry about. Yes, the VIX was a slight yellow flag today, and the fact that the markets got a little bit wary on the current situation in Iran, but overall, things are still looking good. Okay, the two levels that you guys have to watch out for this trading week is the 720 and 710 levels on the S&P 500 ETF or ticker symbol SPY. Okay, so that's all I have to say for the overall market review. 720, 710. Remember those two levels. Okay. All right. So with that being said, let's go on over to the ticker that I want to go over tonight, and that is SoundHound AI. If it's gonna load. Okay. So we are revisiting this. This is the third time that I'm looking at this ticker on this channel. And it has actually been, I think, the second time that it's been featured on the CFO Swinger Watch Report, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe it is the third time as well, but I'm pretty sure it's the second time. But the reason why I have featured it in this week's report is that, well, the momentum is clearly there, which is the reason why I put it in my MM list, or the momentum mentions list. Okay, and before we fully do a deep dive on the company, I want to go over what I've written here as well on the chart, and then we'll go over again the fundamentals and kind of give you guys an update as to what this company has been doing. And honestly, it'll be an update to me as well. Okay, even though I already know what the company is doing, but I do have to share with you guys. Okay, so here's what I've said. Okay, yesterday night. So there is a clear momentum play here that we need to get in on. But just as a reminder, this one has earnings on May 7th, or basically this Thursday, right? And so last Friday gave the initial breakout move as it blasted over that descending resistance trend line as seen on this 4-hour time frame. Okay, so obviously I was in the 4-hour time frame to give you guys more details and more data on this current breakout move. Now, we need to focus on this time frame because that is where we will be getting our clean entry from if the price lets us. I'm expecting a small pullback to that $9 whole number level, which happens to be very close to that 4-hour 200 SMA, or this yellow line. Okay? So that is where our ideal entry will be, right at a pivot at around $9.10. Okay, now as far as price targets go, I wouldn't be surprised if targets are met on the same day the entry is made, just because of the fact that volume and momentum has gone straight up from last Friday. You guys can clearly see this on last Friday. It was basically a short squeeze move just based off of Friday's range and the volume and the momentum. It just went straight up since open. Well, yeah, since open all the way up into close, right? So that's a pretty stratospheric move right there, right? And then today, okay, so that's basically it, all right? What I've written there. So today was pretty interesting as well, because we hit the next major whole number level sitting at $10. This is the golden double-digit number that you want to be focusing on, because if SoundHound is able to get over this $10 or double-digit golden number once more, there's a good chance that all the supply overhead and over the $10 level can be absorbed fairly quickly. All right, and again, a lot of single-digit stocks are always aiming for that double-digit number, and then also double-digit stocks are always aiming for triple-digit share prices. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is kind of the golden moment for these type of companies, where they're about to hit the next target, right? The next golden target, which is going to be adding another digit to their share price. So again, it sounds like a silly idea, but that's what they always aim to do, because again, it's adding, even just the journey towards towards adding that next digit to the share price will be adding more market valuation, right? Market capitalization. So for SoundHound, $10 and higher is a definite goal for them, even if it's just a simple technical play. Yeah, so even if there is no fundamental reasoning behind this move, there's still a very good chance that buyers are willing to bid the price up higher to give us this double-digit share price number on SoundHound, since we have dipped below and broken below that double-digit share price, and we have been staying at the single-digit share price since, well, late February, right? Mid to late February. Okay, and what resulted was a very awkward looking inverted head and shoulders chart pattern as well, which is why I've indicated it with these nice little semicircles here. It's not even a semicircle, but it's half of a semicircle is what I would say. Okay, so we have the inverted left shoulder, inverted right shoulder, and obviously the inverted head right here. And then this descending resistance trend line happens to be the neckline of the overall inverted head and shoulders chart pattern. Okay, so with that in mind, okay, I really think it's a pretty solid breakout. I mean, this one has definitely been lagging compared to its AI peers. Again, this one is kind of in its own little tiny niche of AI companies, right? They specifically focus on agentic AI that's pertinent on voice, right? So for example, if a company is using their services, right, that means if their customer base calls the company for a specific service, well, they'll be using SoundHound's AI agents, right, where you'll be talking to an AI agent that sounds very much like a human. It's very uncanny, but it's a nice trip to Uncanny Valley there. But SoundHound AI's voice agents are pretty solid, I would say. Yes, SoundHound AI has been seeing some selling for the last couple of months. Well, actually, this entire year, because Google, I believe, came out with a lot of voice agents that do specific tasks, or they can do a wide range of tasks, and that brought a lot of fear into this name, and that's the reason why we've been seeing a lot of quick selling coming into this name after very brief but large pops to the upside, right? We've seen that multiple times, and even 2024, again, you guys see our previous entry point here, long over $5.10, right? It was a perfect looking chart pattern, and we were looking at this even before that as well in 2023. I was looking at this in 2023, but I officially made a video in 2024. Okay, so again, SoundHound is definitely something that I am interested again from a fundamental perspective, but just again, from a technical perspective, there is every reason to be looking at this name, especially when the markets are favoring these kind of breakouts, these laggard names that are starting to have a mean reversion back to the upside or just pivoting into a new trend, which is again to the upside. Why? Well, because the markets are in a very strong uptrend, very strong rally, and tickers like this where it basically moves inversely to the markets, because again, last Friday, SPY closed as a shooting star candlestick or a gravestone doji candlestick, whatever you guys want to name that candlestick that we saw last Friday. It doesn't really matter as long as you guys understand that a lot of buyers came in initially, and then a lot of sellers came in at the last half of the day, right? So that's the reason why we had that nice shooting star candlestick, or again a gravestone doji candlestick to end last Friday. And all the while, Soundhound did not care what the markets were doing, and instead it continued to rip up higher with massive volume. All right, so this daily candlestick here clearly showed us that there was more than 3 times the average daily volume. Again, I'm not really gonna go even deeper into this, right? Just take a look at the volume candlestick here. Amazing, right? This is what you want to see when you're seeing a very nice breakout out of a descending resistance trend line, and on top of that, over a horizontal resistance level that sits at a whole number level at $9. So again, ideal and absolutely perfect textbook breakout from Soundhound. Now, when I'm talking about an entry point, an ideal entry point around $9. So again, 9.10 for that confirmation. But if we were to have a nice retest at the $9 whole number level, I would want to see a nice pivot right at the $9 whole number level, and eventually it crosses to 9.10, and that is when I will make my entry, right? Now, you guys also might be wondering, why am I aiming for another retest of the $9 whole number level when we've just broken out from this level? Well, because if we take a look at the 4-hour time frame here, even today, we have yet to retest the previous breakout resistance level at $9. And again, a healthy uptrend usually consists of an initial breakout that leads into a retest of that breakout level. And when we do see a retest of a breakout level, which is again, it's going to be a resistance level since we're moving to the upside, that resistance level turns into a new level of support. So old resistance turns into a new level of support. So it's that old adage from the technical analysis world, right? And so we want to see that confirmation that yes, indeed, buyers are willing to use this new support level as, well, a great area to buy and keep it as a line of defense, right? So I really want to see a pivot. Well, first of all, a pullback into this $9 whole number level, and then a quick pivot back over the $9 whole number level, or at the very least over 9.10, so that we can make our entry point. And preferably, this all occurs before the earnings date on Thursday. Okay, so again, May 7th, right? 5/7 after hours. So just as a reminder, okay, if you guys are just looking to get in right at the $9 whole number level, or a bounce at $9.10 for confirmation, make sure you guys remember to take the position off before earnings come out. Okay, I know a lot of people tend to forget. Okay. All right, thank you guys so much for the hearts. Okay. All right, so that is the technical perspective. And as far as price targets go, okay, I'm just simply looking at 10.50 and $12. That's kind of my realistic profit target range if we were to continue to go up higher even without the earnings catalyst, okay? But if the earnings catalyst turns out to be very bullish, the earnings reaction turns out to be very bullish, then I would expect an ideal price range target between $12 and $13.40. Right, this range here. So there's a lot of supply in this range, but if we're able to at least penetrate through this $12 level and absorb any of the supply that sits at this level and take out any stops from the shorts, obviously, we should be able to at least get to around 12.30ish to 12.50ish. Okay, and that's the reason why, again, I said I'm looking for a target range, price target between $12 and $13.40. Does that make sense? Okay, so again, very, very simple technical analysis here, right? And I'm not basing it off of any type of fundamental knowledge that I have in this stock right now in the company. I'm just solely focusing on the technical analysis first. All right, so there you have it. Very, very simple. Okay, I'm not gonna make it too complicated here. All right, now let's go over kind of some of the reasons. Well, yeah, I guess some of the reasons why this company could be seeing some more of, well, long-term buying, a lot of long-term bids. Maybe this can potentially become a long-term investment once earnings are out, right? So if you don't get an entry point this week at $9.10, or maybe in a retest, maybe off of a retest of the 4-hour 200 SMA, well, I will just most likely wait until earnings are out and the earnings reaction. Okay, so the reason being is that, well, if the earnings are very, very good, well, I can simply play a gap and break on this ticker. And again, if the earnings report is good, if the numbers are great, I might just add a nice long-term position for this company. And so far, there may be reasons to be a bit bullish on the longer term perspective once more, because again, back in 2024, we were kind of already bullish on SoundHound from the longer term perspective until Google came out and really just blew it out of the park with their AI agent. And again, well, not just again, but if you guys remember, if you guys haven't watched that that presentation that Google did from its, I think it was with its CEO, if I remember. I think it was a CEO. Maybe it was a CTO. No, I'm pretty sure it's a CEO. But he was showcasing their AI voice agents, and it not only worked for the actual businesses that it's meant to be, right? Used for, right? It was actually working for the customer as well. So, I think this is going to be an AI voice agent that will be slowly rolled out over time for the general public, right? The customers who will be using it, and obviously the enterprises, right? There might be enterprise usages for the Google AI voice agents, and most likely they will get access first, obviously. But again, once that came out, I was like, oh, SoundHound AI is most likely going to be feeling that heat from Google. But this reminded me that in my initial analysis back in October of 2024, or actually even before that, now that I'm remembering a little bit more about the past year on my analysis on ticker SOUN, I think I do remember saying that SoundHound will most likely be a very good company to acquire and be acquired by a bigger tech company. So maybe if Google is looking for, if Google is looking to invest more into that direction of AI voice agents, just maybe SoundHound could be a very top contender to be in that M&A round for Google, as they're actively, potentially looking for companies that have their little, their in-house AI voice agent technology. Okay, that's a lot of different buzzwords there, but you guys know what I mean. Right? And so again, please take a look at the videos that I've made on SoundHound. I do remember providing you guys with a lot of good information, especially a lot of up-to-date information. And I think on one of the videos I gave you guys kind of the information that the actual CEO of SoundHound gave right after their earnings report and conference call from that earnings report date. So again, I think maybe, just maybe, I might do that again next week once I read the entire report that comes out this Thursday. But yeah, the CEO was very, very happy with the results, with the growth and revenue and cash that they had. And yeah, he provided some good guidance, and that's kind of the reasons why we're looking at it late 2024, and obviously we did extremely well with that SoundHound AI position, and yeah. History was made with that SoundHound position, at least for me personally, and hopefully anyone who's watching my videos, or at least who was a reader of the CFO Swinger Watch Report, especially the readers, hopefully you guys got in as well. Okay? Alright, so enough blabbering about that. So let's see what SoundHound has been doing for the past couple of months or in the last year. So in 2025, right, again, this is all coming from the top of my head right now, from what I've read earlier, revenue doubled, okay? And their guidance has also been upped and doubled from their previous revenue guidance numbers for this year. So it's going to be very interesting to see what their revenue numbers are, because again, they just had their Q4 of 2025 earnings report back in February 26, right? So this is going to be the very first results for this year in the first quarter of this year. So I really want to see if they're going to be on track to continue with this guidance that they provided everyone last year, and I really hope that this shows that yes, that they've indeed continued to be on the path of that increased revenue guidance. I believe it was like 230 to 260 million for the revenue guidance for 2026. So hopefully this first quarter of this year truly proved that they are indeed still growing as a company, even with, again, the kind of the headwinds, right, that this company may have, right? And so amongst the big tech companies that are already, again, like Google, developing their own in-house AI voice agents. So again, SoundHound, they doubled the revenue in 2025, the fiscal year of 2025, and they doubled their revenue guidance as well for 2026. So they're definitely confident. That's a great call from inside of the house that, hey, they are very much bullish on the company themselves because they seem to be executing, right? The numbers seem to tell us that. So hopefully I see the same results and the same optimism and the same sentiment going into this next report. Okay, now what's also interesting is that SoundHound has 25 out of the 100 Fortune companies that are already customers. Okay, and again, this sole goal that the company has had since 2024 was to expand into multiple sectors, but specifically hospitality industries, right? So like, again, the healthcare industry, the restaurant industry, and the travel industry as well. And if they're able to, again, grab this overall moat, this economic moat in every single industry, there is still a good chance that a big tech company will see that, like Google, and acquire them, right? So again, if you guys are wondering where I'm getting this information from, well, the CEO said that himself in 2024 after that earnings report and the conference call. And again, he did that interview with, I think it was CNBC, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so if they're able to show that they will continue to grow with more enterprise deals, or maybe even potential enterprise deals that haven't closed yet, right? So these are deals that haven't closed yet, but they're making progress to making these huge deals, these huge enterprise deals, with, again, a lot of different companies in different industries that are mainly in the hospitality group, right? Again, healthcare, restaurants, travel. Okay. So if that is indeed happening still in this year, right, when we're seeing so many different AI companies and just overall even AI startups, okay, I think SoundHound has a very, very good chance to become a long-term position for me again, right? And again, the long-term position perspective was initially canceled out in my perspective because of the fact that Google came out with that AI voice agent. So another thing to understand is that SoundHound is debt-free, right? So if I show you guys this on my Koifin filter, Okay, this is my little filter that I've shown you guys plenty of times on previous tickers and previous lives. I recently gave it out as well. Okay, if it's gonna load. Okay, so again, this is my custom made, well, I mean, it's nothing really special, but here it is, right? So I've just added these financial fundamental metrics. Okay, so this company is practically debt-free, right? I mean, just take a look at this, all right? So total debt is at 4.82 million. They've significantly paid down their debt last year, 2 years ago, okay? And this is also what I was interested in as well in 2024. But if you take a look at the actual ratio between the cash and short-term investments to the total debt values, right? I mean, 269 million, right? Let's just round up, right? We'll round up, and we compare it to the rounded up total debt number of 5 million, right? This is chump change, right? They have a lot of cash. Okay, now I do not like the fact that the gross profit margins have dropped since 2024 and have been dropping. But I would also like to, be a little bit positive for the fact that they have continued to slowly increase that profit margin back up to the levels that we've seen back in 2023 and 2024. Okay, now they might be saying that the cost of running their business may have gotten higher, right? Who knows, right? Even though a lot of AI companies are able to reduce overhead by quite a lot. Okay, so there is a good chance that SoundHound could bounce very quickly back to the previous profit margin percentages that we've seen in 2023 and 2024. But yeah, I think overall, this isn't just, again, before any of you guys say, well, this is not really telling me anything. Well, again, this is just to give me a very quick snapshot as to how SoundHound has been doing in the past, okay, and potentially in the future, right? And so far, the trends for all these metrics are okay, right? They are okay. The company is overall financially sound from a debt perspective, a total debt perspective, compared to their assets. So compared to when you're just looking at the liabilities and the assets, it seems like this company is doing fine. But when it comes to the gross profit margins, right, overall, historically, they're at lows. But again, since last year, they have been trying to recover, and they have recovered so far. And again, you guys have to remember that this company is also, they're aiming for a higher growth in revenue. So as long as this company continues to churn out bigger and larger amounts of revenue, right, and cash flow as well, right? Cash flow is very closely tied to their overall revenue as well, and sales and etc. Right? I'm not gonna get into that, but again, this overall filter that I put for every single ticker and every single company that I look at is just to give me a very quick snapshot as to how the company is doing. Okay, so again, free cash flow, not too good, obviously. But again, as I've stated minutes before, right, they've been trying to improve their cash flow, okay, and the amount of cash that they have, and still they have yet to prove to us that they will get a positive free cash flow in one of the quarters, maybe, hopefully, and hopefully that this upcoming earnings report does show that they have gotten even closer to that quote-unquote break-even amount in the cash flow, right, the free cash flow numbers. But so far, again, it seems to me that, it definitely seems to me that they're just following kind of this cyclical pattern of seeing a massive negative free cash flow that eventually starts to unwind and tries to head for that, again, quote-unquote, break-even free cash flow value. Okay, but again, it really would be nice if they're able to tell us in this upcoming earnings report that this first quarter of 2026 was, again, a very breakthrough quarter, maybe. I don't know if they're gonna use the exact term there, breakthrough, but if they do, I would hopefully think that they're using that term to describe their free cash flow, their gross profit margins, and their growth in overall revenue. Okay, so again, this company fiscally doesn't look too bad. They still have a lot of work to do as a growth company. It is an AI company as well, and they've been fully just absolutely going into expanding into multiple different industries. Now, there is a bear case on this company in the fact that they might be trying to get into every single industry that could very much benefit from voice AI agents too quickly, right? And that has been a main bear case that I've seen so far from analysts and just from retail, right? And the fact that they should be focusing on building a huge moat in a certain industry and then being able to expand outward into other different sectors, right? So, that doesn't make sense to me as well. But again, when it comes to voice AI agents, I don't think you have to be that slow in growth because the fact that, well, it is just a piece of in-house software, I would have to say. Okay, again, SoundHound makes their own in-house voice AI agents. So again, maybe with the fact that we're now fully in this AI agentic or agentic AI phase that Jensen Huang had outlined for us back in like 2024, I think it was, or it's 2025. I think it was CES 2025, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we are fully now in the stage of agentic AI for the AI revolution, and so I think SoundHound could again definitely benefit from their growing revenue, growing customer base, growing enterprise deals, and etc. Right? Especially not just as a company alone, but maybe for the prospects of a future acquisition deal. Does that make sense? Okay, so again, it's really hard to tell if SoundHound AI will be able to survive in the next couple of years, especially if Google, again, big tech is called big tech for a reason, right? They dominate in specific things that they invest in, and the reason being is that, well, they just have so much cash, right? They have almost like an unlimited. Obviously, it's not unlimited, truly, in reality, but they do have a lot of resources to use, even just based off of their free cash, or just the cash on hand that they have, to invest into specific ventures like AI voice agents, right? And so, from a perspective of, I would say a speculative perspective, SoundHound AI could very much not be existing anymore in the next 3 to 5 years if they run out of cash, or they're just not seeing the economic moat that they've been trying to build up for the last couple of years, right? All because of the fact that maybe Google has kind of overshadowed them, right? Because of the fact that they just have an infinite amount, again, not really infinite, but infinite amount of resources to really just go heavily into and invest into the R&D and marketing or whatever it may be to a specific venture like AI voice agents. So again, I think the more optimistic route is the fact that SoundHound AI could be acquired in the next 3 to 5 years. Maybe that's the exit strategy that this current CEO has in his mind. Who knows? We haven't heard anything like that from him yet, but that would definitely be a huge breakthrough for this company to be acquired by a bigger company if they do prove to these big tech companies that, hey, we have a very reliable, very good AI voice agent system that has been, tried and tested to an nth degree, to the point where it's become very reliable for those specific companies in each different sector and industries to continue to use reliably. Does that make sense? Okay, I'll grab a bite of my my watermelon. Okay, so now I also do know, guys, before I end the stream here, I do know that NVIDIA had a stake in this company, which is again the reason why, one of the major reasons why we were looking at SoundHound back in 2024, but as we have come to learn in 2025, early 2025, as NVIDIA posted their filings, well, like I said in the title here of the stream, NVIDIA sold this company, right? Completely, right? They took out their entire stake out of this company. So that is where things can become a little bit more pessimistic in the future rather than optimistic, because we had one of the biggest companies in the world completely selling their stake and position into this company, which again kind of breaks the investor confidence, right? Especially for all the long-term bulls. But again, I really wouldn't use that as a major metric to determine whether or not this company is going to be a long-term investment or not. There's still going to be a lot of good opportunities in this ticker, like I've just shown you guys, just from the perspective of the technical analysis perspective. Okay, so just know your time frame, your time horizon, all right, for this ticker. All right, if you're really bullish on this company for the longer term perspective, well, make sure you guys focus on the earnings report that comes out, see how they've been doing, see if they're following the overall revenue guidance of around 230 million to 260 million that they have set for this fiscal year. See if they've done any more enterprise deals. Maybe if they haven't done an enterprise deal for the entire first quarter of this year, that may be a red flag, or maybe just a small yellow flag, indicating that maybe enterprises aren't really willing to invest and use AI voice agent systems like SoundHound AI's in-house AI voice agent system, right? So it's just stuff like that, right? Very simple stuff like that. And also watch what the CEO says, right? I was definitely pleased to hear what the CEO had to say about the earnings report right after the the conference call was done as well. So hopefully maybe he does come out again for this first quarter of 2026's earnings call, and then maybe he'll give us a better insight as to what he's been seeing as the CEO himself. Okay, so yeah, I think SoundHound is definitely a very, very risky and speculative story that has been, again, piquing my interest yet again from a technical perspective and less of a fundamental perspective, because again, obviously just from that fundamental snapshot that I've seen, right? Yes, the company's doing okay, but I have still yet to see any quarter that has given us a positive free cash flow. But if we do see a positive free cash flow quarter, this company will absolutely rocket higher. Trust me on that. Okay, it's one of the major metrics that a lot of companies want to see turning positive, right? Or at the very least, quote unquote, break even for a free cash flow quarter. Okay, and analysts and retail investors alike also like to use this metric to see where and when this company could potentially be returning a positive free cash flow quarter for its investors and shareholders. Okay, so again, I think overall SoundHound for me right now currently is not an investable name until we see what the first quarter's earnings results are this Thursday. I don't know why I keep saying Saturday. This Thursday after hours. But overall, the technical perspective is there. Technically, it's a very, very nice uptrend so far. Today was a very nice consolidation day. If we continue to consolidate tomorrow and we come back down to retest $9 and we pivot away from $9 and we are able to jump right back over $9.10, well, my alerts will be on, and then my immediate entry point will be made on this ticker, and I will have a nice long entry point or long position on this ticker into earnings. Okay, and hopefully if I do get an entry point tomorrow and my entry point is at $9.10, well, I will want exactly the situation and scenario that I described earlier right here to occur. Right? So I will want the price to immediately start to have a nice momentum move back up higher with more bids coming in. Because again, this $9 whole number level is a huge line in the sand defense level for bulls, because the fact that if you come back down to it, it's going to be a retest of the previous breakout resistance level. And if you're able to retest it and pivot away from it, that will officially confirm that this whole number level that has been a huge caveat for bulls for the past couple of months, okay, since February, it can now be used as a new level of support. Does that make sense? I know it's a very simple and textbook technical analysis concept, but again, it's a very important one to understand. All right, understand, comprehend, and obviously apply. All right, so again, I have my targets here, right? And I said realistically, like I said, yeah, like I've said a couple minutes ago, well, around the early innings of this stream, I said that the price tops out between that $12 through $13 area, closer to $12. Right, and all of this ideally though occurs before earnings as well. Okay, I most likely will not try to hold SoundHound into earnings. Again, this stock is very speculative. Nvidia has sold out as well, and they may have just decided to sell this company because they found a better value company to invest in. Okay, so or maybe just the fact that they just didn't want to hold on to this company, and they still think that this is still a great company to be in, but they just didn't see it in their portfolio. Okay, so there are many other reasons that Nvidia could have had to sell this company, but again, I really wouldn't use Nvidia's action of taking out their stake into this company to really rule out any potential future long-term positions that we may want to grab on SoundHound. Right? I really have to, well, all of us should be just focusing on the actual numbers of this company, especially as earnings are coming up this Thursday after hours. Is all of this making sense, everyone? Okay. I see your guys' reactions there. Thank you. All right, well, that's it for tonight, guys. I mean, again, yeah, I'm quite literally saying again many times throughout the stream because, well, I've talked about this company many times in the past, and you guys can see the information that I've said all the way back from 2024 using the two links, the very first two links that are linked in my description box down below on this stream. Okay, so go ahead and take a look at those videos. I'm pretty sure I've said some interesting stuff that you guys may apply to this company now. Okay, maybe not, but hey, it won't hurt to revisit old videos, especially from 2 years ago. Okay, so yeah, hopefully the earnings results are great, and hopefully I have, found some new information to apply to this company because of the earnings report numbers and all the data that we get from the report, and maybe that leads into a better long-term thesis that I've initially had on this company. And yeah, maybe I'll hold for potential future acquisition. Who knows, right? Who knows? All right. Okay, well, that is it for tonight, guys. Hopefully this stream wasn't too repetitive as far as me just going back into what I've previously stated on SoundHound 2 years ago, and hopefully I gave you guys some new information. Also showing you guys my fundamental financial filter here, and giving you guys my quick thoughts on a very quick snapshot as to how the company has been performing for the last couple of quarters. Okay, but yeah, maybe I'll do an update after the stream is done, and well, obviously once the earnings report is out is what I meant to say, and maybe I'll do the stream next week and give you guys kind of a inside scoop as to what the earnings report said. All right. Alrighty, that is it for tonight, guys. I'll see you guys on Wednesday at the same time, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to know when we are live or when I have uploaded a new YouTube video. All right, have a great rest of your night, and thank you so much for watching.